Hi, welcome back friend. Here in this practical exercise, you're learning how to create block text animation in After Effects. Earlier, you have learned a lot of things from 3D isometric to simple transformations and trim path and much more. So here I will be learning an advanced topic, block text animation. It will add a lot of attention and effects to your animation. It will be vibrant. So just take a vibrant background color. Here I've taken a lighter tone of red and pink color, and just now we need to add some text. This is a typography project, so here we just choose a text. So you can rescale it. The thing here is we with block text we have multiple layers of text, and each are animated in differently. They have different kinds of transformation and effect. Together, when they get in sync, they leave a cool impact on viewers' mind. So here, just take the same color tone with a dark shade. We are using the same color as the background. So here, you can rescale the size of your screen display monitor here if it is small, and just write the text, different text one by one. You can copy the same text layer and rename the text later on, or just use the text tool, type tool. Here, with the block text, you can convey a lot of messages on the same screen. It is very different when you compare to isometric text, because in isometric, at a time, one or two messages or strings appear on the screen, but with the block text, multiple text appear one by one on the screen, and they move like a song. So any presentation or anything where you're using songs, a lot of song directors also use this block text effect to convey the lyrics or any message on the screen. So when you're building any presentation or kinetic typography project, the block text would be very useful. So here we have created multiple layers of this block text, this text layers, and now we just need to reposition them accordingly. So select all these layers and go to the frame or the time where you want. Here I go to almost 3 seconds, and just you can hold the open bracket option or square bracket on the keyboard to start the timer of those layers at that point. Alternatively, you can also hold your left key and drag on the screen in the position where you want. So here I will be creating a mask. So just draw a square here on the screen and readjust it on the size width. Here we want our background to appear from the top right corner. So we'll be creating a matte, an alpha matte of the background layer. So just draw this mask or shape layer on the top of the screen or just above the background layer. Just hold it with the left click and drag it down, and right click this background, medium background solid color, and go to alpha. Alternatively, there are luma mats and other mats, but here we will be using alpha mat. So this shape layer is transparent and alpha mat. So what happens here is when you move this alpha layer, your background layer, the solid, will appear like it is appearing from the top corner. So just reposition it on side, because simply the solid doesn't have any boundary, so it is omnipresent everywhere. So when you want to animate it, you can use any extra shape layer or use with masking with alpha matte. So you can apply easing to the keyframes you just created with the shape layer, and here it appears like your background is coming from the top right corner. So whatever layer would be in behind, it will disappear. The black layer would be replaced by any previous layer. So don't worry here. So just reselect the text and place it over the time where you want. 3 seconds could be a more delayed. And now start animating the text one by one. So here we have a lot of text. So first thing is to rotate them accordingly. So here we want paper notes to be vertically oriented, not horizontally. So just make it 3D so that we can play with all the three coordinates. Most importantly, Z coordinate. So here we just want to rotate it in the Z axis. XY axis won't work because we want to create a vertical text here. So just rotate it 90 degree in the Z axis. Similarly, the same thing you need to apply with the nodes. So here we have two text in the vertical orientation and four text layers in the horizontal axis. You just need to rearrange the size of each text. So here we make some text layer appear bigger. So centuries layer uh, is enlarged to get an emphasis over this word. And after some centuries, people began using paper notes. So after this animation stops, you can read it very perfectly. It is very friendly to your eyes. It is very convenient to convey the message, and we would be animating it in the coming exercise. So here you just rearrange a few text a little bit. No need to enlarge it compared to the centuries or anything like that. When you're done with this, you can change the colors and more things. Hi, welcome back. Now moving forward with our text animation. So just change the color of different text layers. I will be using the monochromatic color scheme, so won't be changing it to different colors such as white. We'll be taking a lighter shade or a darker shade of the same color from the color selection tool. Just select any text layer and make it either dark or light if you want. You can take any color, or you can also animate different preset or hue color option. There are a lot of fill color change animations. We could also use expressions if you want. So just keep it simple and try to simplify your idea and make it into a few words. It will appear. There you can take the option of hue color. Sometimes white color is helpful with a dark background. Here just go to the selection tool uh, when you want to switch over different text, or simply select it by dragging on the layer option. So here just replay this animation again. So here we have not applied any transformation to these text. So just you are done with repositioning and coloring and resizing them. Just not need to keyframe a few things. So just go to something. The first text that has to appear from the block is after some. So here we'll be animating this layer. Just expand it or go to transform, and here go to opacity. So the first time we don't want it to appear as it is. We want it to gradually appear from nowhere almost. So here initially we are turning the opacity to 0%. It will take half a second to gradually appear on the screen with 100% opacity. So the first text we have applied opacity. You can rearrange the layer in the sequence they follow, and just simply select the second layer and use the opening bracket or braces to move the layer in the rightward direction at the time where you want. So the second layer we try to animate the position. Initially drag it out of the screen, set the keyframe, wait for a second or half a second, and then set another keyframe and bring the text at the right position where you want. You can use both the selection tool to move your text around on the screen, or you can use the value provider in the properties of the text layer or any other layer. You can apply easing to smooth down your animation. So here we have applied easing, and now just move to the third text layer and add the rotation. Here we want a third layer to appear from a different angle, and just reposition it and with the open bracket and put the keyframe by hitting the stopwatch. And here we have the first keyframe, and initially I want to rotate it a little bit. You need to set your anchor point accordingly. When your text layer is in 3D, you could also rotate in X, Y, and Z, all three coordinates. Otherwise, you could rotate only in X or Y axis. So here we have changed it around the X axis. So it will appear like a paper or copy a book. It looks like a book opening thing. It will be flat. So apply easing and replay so that it looks cool or whatever, to make sure your animation is doing what you are expecting from it. So okay, it looks cool. So then we need to animate the fourth text after we have animated the three texts initially. One with opacity, one with position, one with rotation, and then go to using and four text, and now animate the scale property. A block text looks cool when you use a combination of different properties or transformations where each text animation is almost unpredictable. People can't predict that next text will be scaling up, down, rotating, bouncing back, anything. You don't know. So that's the way you keep your audience with an element of surprise. So here it is. Similarly, the fourth and the fifth, we can reposition those layers accordingly and change the color. Previously, we have animated various properties to different text layers, and here the final text layer, we want to add some out of the box animation. Basically, we will be using some presets. So make sure the preset option is visible to you. From Windows, select the preset if it is not visible. So then just go to explore a lot of animations, and here we'll be using text animation, the hue and stroke color animation. Go to this category, there are various options. You can choose any color. I'll be using the second one. So just select this option and try to play it. If it looks cool to you, you can continue, or you can Control Z to undo the previous selection or delete the effect and apply a new effect. Here, just play this again. So this plays from the beginning, and you can do this. So here the final animation looks cool. It changed the color. It is very simple. It's not too much complicated, and you don't need to keyframe anything when you are using a built-in preset. So here we just want to add a new null layer. A null layer is simply a different layer, and we have previously worked with this. Just make sure all the layers other than background is in 3D. So just select all the text layers and pick whip it to the null layer. We want to animate or move all the text in sync together, and how we can do so is using null. Otherwise it would take a lot of time to keyframe every single text layer. So here just go to the rotation and position. We'll be rotating it and revolving it around. So just set the keyframe and rotate it a little bit. So initially just set the keyframe to the default value, say wait for half a second and rotate it to say 90 degree. You could reverse it. You can think of this animation. We're rotating this entire block and fire it out of the screen with a certain speed. You have to position it as well. So here we will not just rotating it, we will be repositioning it. So here just reposition it well on the screen. So here we have this animation, the paper notes. We want this text to be the title of the next screen. So here we want to introduce the paper note, the last text on the screen. So we will be adding some vector for this paper note. You can also scale it up a little bit to add some emphasis of this text or title. So we scale it a little bit, and we need to reposition this block as well because we are increasing the size of entire block, not just this text. So just reposition it to adjust that all other text are out of the screen. So just replay it or block animation. It looks cool and almost unpredictable. Each text animation should be unpredictable in a block text to retain the element of surprise to grab the attention of your audience. You are a storyteller, you are an animator, so you have to do this. Here I've just created a simple vector of paper note. You could use the vector or you can license various vectors online or anywhere you want. You can, yeah, the best thing is to you should create each and every vector used in your animation. Even though you are not a good designer as me, I'm not a designer, but still I try to create a lot of vector myself. So just place your vector and image on the screen the way you want. So here we need to reposition it because I want this thing to appear, the cache to appear from below the screen. It may look like a cache machine giving out the cache of the paper note. Just apply easing when you're done with setting your keyframes. So just replay everything to make sure it is looking the same as you are expecting. So here we are done with this. You can try to create a different type of block animation. Keep learning, keep moving ahead.